Good afternoon. This is First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich, or Weather Brad if you follow me on Twitter. Keeping an eye on an area of low pressure which is developing pretty quickly here in the Pamlico Sound out towards the Outer Banks of North Carolina. This is the Doppler radar out of Morehead City, North Carolina, and what you're looking at is the reflectivity, and clearly we've got an eye-like feature here that has developed very quickly. We've got nice banding back inland. There's a good band that extends back into the coastal plain, and then we've got banding to the east. I'm going to double screen this real quick and show you the reflectivity combined with the velocity data. The velocity data is on the left, reflectivity on the right. You can see that there's good symmetry to the wind speeds here. Those green areas are showing some winds going towards the radar at about 20 knots, 25 knots at times. And then on this red area, these are winds blowing away from the radar at about 20 knots to 15 to 20 knots. But then down here in this band where you see the lightning, we've got some pretty good winds as well mixing down. Looks like maybe up to 30 to 40 miles an hour. We'll go back to reflectivity, but a very impressive looking low. You can actually see it's almost got the perfect Hurricane S type shape to it. If you look at the symbol on the surface chart, that looks almost exactly like a hurricane. This is our Facebook page. I'm going to post here in a minute what's going on, but this is the visible satellite picture to give you an idea of just how nice this system looks on the satellite and the radar. You can see the banding forming back inland, a band to the east. Looks like some pretty good outflow. Check out all the smog and soot that's been entrained into the upper low back to the west. Now I want to show you another look. This is a visible loop that runs actually over 2 days. You can see the sunset and sunrise here. This was an upper low yesterday. It became vertically stacked today, and now we've got a surface reflection of the area of low pressure. The upper low was actually based right out here yesterday, and look how it jumps down here where there's some convection. And we've got a pretty good cluster of storms on the south side of this system. The water vapor loop shows the big trough digging in across the middle of the country, which is actually helping the outflow to the north. We've got an area of high pressure down over the Gulf of Mexico now. That's actually helping the outflow to the south, and we're getting some pretty good outflow northward, poleward, and then southward towards the equator. Dry air's been pinched off, and right now it's looking pretty healthy. I don't anticipate a huge storm out of this, but this could easily be a tropical depression already and possibly become a tropical storm. Surface chart shows circulation here. We don't have the buoys on here, but northwest winds here, and out at Hatteras Island here we have a southwest wind at about 15 knots. If you look at the buoy data in this area, it's kind of interesting. You take a look at the buoy right here offshore. We've got winds gusting to 15.5 knots out of the west-southwest. Then you go down here towards Harker's Island, Morehead City. Look at the winds gusting, but notice the pressure, 29.90. And then well offshore, it's kind of far away, but we actually have some southeast winds out here well east of the center of circulation. The other thing, the pressure here is pretty low, 29.88 and steady. If you look down to the south, the pressure here is 29.90 inches, but it's falling. So there's deepening low pressure here. Clearly, you can see it on both the visible, the water vapor, and more importantly, just looking at the reflectivity here. So the Hurricane Center is probably watching this. They haven't said anything publicly, but I wouldn't be shocked if we get something quickly. I think this is probably already a tropical depression. It's warm core, it's vertically stacked, it's got all the features of a tropical low. Shouldn't have a big impact. It's drifting south and east. That trough in front coming in from the west would push it offshore, but it's going to be kind of a blustery day here in the southern Outer Banks. We'll keep you updated. Everything changes on Facebook and online at wcnt.com, but just something to keep an eye on if you're one of these tropical weather watchers.